In 1943, during the height of World War II, the U.S. Navy attempted something that was thought to be impossible, a top-secret experiment designed to make a warship completely invisible. But what allegedly happened next would spiral into one of the most chilling and enduring mysteries in all of military history. They called it the Philadelphia Experiment. The story begins at the bustling Philadelphia Naval Shipyard. With the war raging, the Navy was desperate for a decisive edge against the lethal German U-boats terrorizing the Atlantic. They turned to a radical idea, something straight out of science fiction: electromagnetic invisibility. Some sources claim the entire project was inspired by the groundbreaking and often misunderstood theories of Nikola Tesla. Others whisper that Albert Einstein's elusive unified field theory was the secret key. Whatever the source, the goal was audacious: to bend light itself, rendering a massive steel warship invisible to both the human eye and enemy radar. The vessel chosen for this unprecedented test was the destroyer escort, the USS Eldridge. Technicians worked in secret, installing massive electromagnetic generators deep within its hull. A complex web of thick cables was wrapped around the ship's superstructure, looking like metallic veins ready to pulse with an unearthly power. And then, on a fateful morning in October 1943, the switch was thrown. Witnesses on shore reported a bizarre otherworldly phenomenon. A thick greenish-yellow fog began to swirl around the Eldridge, crackling with electricity. Then, within seconds, the unthinkable happened. The Eldridge vanished. Right there in the harbor, where a multi-ton warship had been floating just moments before, there was nothing but churning water. The ship had disappeared from radar screens and, more shockingly, from plain sight. But the story gets even stranger. At that exact moment, sailors stationed in Norfolk, Virginia, over 300 miles away, claimed to have seen the USS Eldridge suddenly materialize in their waters for a few brief, confusing moments. Then, just as quickly as it appeared, it was gone again. Minutes later, back in Philadelphia, the ship reappeared in its original spot, shimmering back into existence as if reality itself had just experienced a massive glitch. But any sense of triumph was immediately shattered by the horrific scene that greeted those who boarded the ship. The real horror of the Philadelphia Experiment was not the disappearance, but the aftermath. According to the legend, the crew had suffered an unspeakable fate. Sailors were found fused into the ship's very metal, their bodies trapped, half inside bulkheads and steel decks. Others were driven completely insane, babbling incoherently, unable to remember their own names. And some had simply vanished during the event, never to be seen or heard from again. What terrible power had the Navy unleashed? As you might expect, the official response was swift and total denial. No such experiment ever took place, the Navy declared. But the rumors persisted. Top-secret documents related to the Eldridge and its crew allegedly went missing. Witnesses were reportedly silenced or discredited. The story only grew stronger in the shadows, morphing into a grand conspiracy. Was this a failed test of teleportation? Or even more terrifying, had they accidentally stumbled upon a form of time travel, with devastating consequences for the crew? So what could possibly explain such a bizarre event? Decades later, physicists and theorists have offered their own explanations. Some suggest that the ship was enveloped in an intensely powerful rotating electromagnetic field. A field so strong it could have bent light waves around the vessel, creating a mirage-like invisibility. But more extreme theories propose that the field was powerful enough to warp space-time itself. If that's true, the Philadelphia Experiment might have accidentally opened a doorway, a temporary rift between dimensions, and then slammed it shut before anyone could comprehend what they had witnessed. The story truly broke into the public consciousness years later, thanks to a mysterious man named Carlos Allende, or Carl Allen. He sent a series of strange, rambling letters to researchers and the U.S. Navy, claiming he was a merchant mariner who had witnessed the entire experiment from a nearby ship. He described the green fog, the crackling electrical field, and the ship's impossible teleportation in vivid detail. Over the years, other individuals have come forward, claiming to have knowledge or to have been involved, confirming parts of his story. But every time someone seemed to get too close to the truth, their evidence would mysteriously disappear, or they would be dismissed as a crackpot. So, where does that leave us? Is the Philadelphia Experiment a genuine, terrifying truth, or is it a masterful myth? On one hand, you have the official explanation, The Navy was simply testing a degaussing process, a method of making ships invisible to magnetic mines, which might have produced some strange visual effects, like a greenish glow. On the other hand, you have a compelling and persistent legend of a government project that tampered with the very fabric of reality. Perhaps the truth, as it so often does, lies somewhere in the middle, hidden away in classified archives, waiting to be discovered. 80 years have passed, yet the Philadelphia experiment continues to haunt our collective imagination. It's a powerful tale of scientific ambition pushed to far, a legend born from the paranoia and secrecy of wartime. Whether it was fact or fiction, it forces us to ask a profound question. If the U.S. Navy could allegedly make a warship vanish in 1943, what incredible technologies might they possess today? This has been the incredible story of the Philadelphia experiment, brought to life by WWII Chronicles, where history meets mystery. If you enjoyed this journey into the unknown, please subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell. We have so many more secrets from the world's forgotten history to share with you. Thanks for watching.